Okay, we were talking about 2022. I mean, I think that's what the cool kids are doing, 2022. Speaking of 2022, I want to talk about some goals. But first, I have a question. Are you worried about maintaining momentum into the new year? So, I have a question for you. In addition to are you focused on keeping up with that momentum, is what is one goal that you had for this year? Just drop it down below. I love seeing where people are. I mean, it's like it's food for my soul to see what people want to set out and achieve. Now, when it comes to setting goals and achieving them and keeping up momentum, sometimes in the back of our minds, we have this lingering thought that perhaps we can't maintain what we started. And I am here to clear the room and let you know that you are not alone. That myself, amongst many other business owners, is that we look in the past and we say, well, I've set goals before and either I didn't follow through or I tried my best, I did everything I could, and I still didn't hit my goal. Well, the fact of the matter is that we can choose to believe a lie. And the lie is that other people set and hit their goals and stick with them for the year, and we're just the people who don't. But y'all, let's fill it up with some math and science. Every year comes with a renewed energy and commitment to goals, yet 43% of people expect to give up in 1 month. 43% of people expect to give up in the first month. So just the fact that your intention is to set your goal and then stick with it, friends, I have to say that number one, you're not alone in worrying about keeping up the momentum, but number two, the almost half of the American population expect not to stick with goals. So if you're sitting here and you're like, I'm ready though, like this year is going to be different for me. Great, because setting goals is easy. Doing the work day in and day out, well, that's the hard part. But the question then becomes, you and I are just going to sit here and have a real conversation, is how do we defy the 43%? How do we become part of the percentage that actually deploys on the thing that we set out to do? Now, I am asking you right now to not think of anything that has happened in 2021, 2022, 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015. Regardless, if you're like, I used to be all about goals and intentions and I just don't stick with it anymore. How about we just try something new? How about we tell ourselves a different story, but I'm not going to leave you out here alone. I'm going to share the 7 ways to build and then maintain momentum. These are just things that I have practiced that have worked extraordinarily well, starting with number 1, changing the scene. Now, I'm going to practice what I preach. Every week, I have live conversations on Facebook, and then we repurpose over on YouTube. And yes, I'm still trying my best to engage on those platforms. But if you've been around the block with me, you know that my background is different today. Why? I'm just changing the scene. Now, before people say, that must be nice, you can just change your scene. Yo, look at this. Hang on. I don't want to jack things up here. That's my normal background. All I'm doing is sitting on the edge of my desk. Hey, we out here doing what? Changing the scene. Because changing the scene actually inspires us to see things new ways and then have a refound purpose on the goals that we had set to begin with. Okay. Number 2, move your body. Now, I understand that different people have different fitness goals and expectations. And quite honestly, I don't give a rip what it is you do with your body. All I'm saying is to please, when it comes to setting your goals, prioritize moving your body. Not because I think you need to be tiny in the waist and thick in the hips, although that's cute. All I am really saying is that when it comes to moving your body, it actually frees up pathways for you to start thinking differently, to start strategizing and prioritize. Now, I am not saying that you should be training for a marathon. If what you can do is a 15-minute walk around your block, good on you. If what you can do is a 10-minute deep breathing movement meditation in your backyard when you got toddlers running around, good for you. But move your body. It does, in fact, help you stick with building that momentum. Number 3 is to write it out and create a plan. Because number 1 was to change your scene, and maybe that's to go outside. And then number 2 is to move your body. But now when you're moving your body, clearing out your brain, it gets us to number 3 is to create a plan and then stick with the plan. Because my mom always said, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Now, I don't know about you, but I would get so annoyed when my mom said that as a kid. She'd be like, well, Jasmine. And I'm like, I don't want to hear it. And now that is all I hear in the back of my mind. Because if I don't have a plan, it's just not going to come to fruition. Because we can think about the things that we want to do and we can think about the goals. But if we don't have a clear step plan of how we're going to do it, we're never going to move there. Speaking of which, a plan, it doesn't have to be daunting. Even if, like, let's just say you're like, my goal is to go to the moon this year. Let's just say, you're great. And you tell yourself, I don't actually know how I'm going to get to the moon. No worries. You're creating a plan and executing on that plan could simply be to complete small tasks. What is the first thing? Like, if you don't know how to get to the moon, step number 1, task number 1, go to Google or go to YouTube and ask, how can I get to the moon? AKA, how can I build a website? How can I build an email funnel? How can I start a webinar? How can I put tags on my emails? Y'all, I'm telling you, YouTube is God's greatest gift, one of God's greatest gifts. It is every university that has ever existed at your fingertips. You could figure out anything you want as long as you have a clear plan and tiny steps to get there. Because at the end of the day, what we really need to know is that checking off a box gives your brain a boost of affirmation that you're making progress. Your brain won't differentiate between how difficult a task was if you just accomplish it. So your brain is a muscle and a task is a task. So writing your weekly newsletter and perhaps sending an email, one will take more time. But if on your to-do list, it's like send that very important email and then write your weekly newsletter, hey, you might say, I don't need to put that email on my to-do list. Why not? We're training our brain to have a plan and then stick with it because, friends, that is how we keep up momentum. Number 5 is to examine your schedule and your routine. I don't know about you, but in years past, I have expected water from a rock, right? I am the rock and I am expecting something to come out from me, even though it is not humanly possible. My to-do list was like what 8 people should be doing. And then I have this long to-do list. I said, I got to get all this stuff on today, which was not humanly possible, but then I would beat myself up for not accomplishing everything on my to-do list, when in all actuality, if I actually sat and itemized how long each task would take, that was like 3 days worth of work that I'm trying to get done in one day, and then I would just retaliate against myself and say, you're not moving fast enough, you're too stupid, you're too slow, you're not doing enough, when in all actuality, how much hours do we have in our day? So are you expecting more of yourself than is humanly possible? If you are and you're like, Jasmine, but I need to get that work done, I deeply understand that. I deeply understand the pressure of having to get it done. So you have 2 options. You either get it done you have 3 options. You get it done yourself and not beat yourself up in the process, but it might take longer than you expect. You might try to do a bit of it yourself and then find a way to outsource or delegate. Or you might look at all of it and say, I don't have time or bandwidth to do any of this. So you will outsource or delegate all of the project. Entirely you, it will take you longer. Doing some of it and getting an assistant will take you about mid-range. Abdicating, delegating, all of it will take you the least amount of time. But then you say, oh, well, that costs money. And Jasmine, I don't have money. I didn't have money either. But when I first started outsourcing and getting help, I realized that what I couldn't offer in money, right? I might have like somebody might have to work for me and I pay them less than what they want, but they would be getting up close experience. We would be bartering, we would be trading. I would trade my consulting services to help them build their business on the fact that they would commit to 4 or 5 hours, depending on what the arrangement was. There's different ways that people want to be compensated, and it's not just money. All right, number 6, as we round this out, is know when it is time to rest. Now, I know that seems counterintuitive because we're sitting here talking about goal setting and we're sitting here talking about momentum. And you're like, what does rest have to do with momentum? a lot. Because what happens is if people aren't keeping up that momentum, the knee-jerk reaction is to quit and say, ugh, another year I tried it and didn't work. No. Know the difference between resting and quitting. It is okay for you to say, I had this goal and I really wanted to finish it by January, February, March. I really wanted to finish it by Q1. And then all of a sudden it's May and you're like, still not even close. Whatever. No. Do not whatever it. Do not whatever it. Say, I will do whatever it takes. Do not whatever. So the timeline might shift. Maybe you just need to rest and you need to take a moment because life happens. But please do not quit, because momentum is not a fixed figure. You can have a little bit of momentum and just kind of keep it up the best you can, or you can have a lot of momentum. All I'm saying is just don't stop. Number 7, lucky number 7, practice gratitude. I saved the best for last because I have to tell you. And here's the thing. Chris had asked, in fact, hold on. I want to make sure that I'm actually talking to Chris. Oh, Chris had asked, what are one of your personal goals this year? Chris, one of my personal goals is every single day to have, I've always had a gratitude practice. I would say I was thankful for things, but it's actually a written gratitude practice. Now, this is not 30 minutes. It takes me about 5. I make a list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, yes, son. Ooh, a fine specimen, trying to sound all smart. A fine specimen. Yes, Lord, my husband. See, y'all, this morning, thank you, boo, thank you. He walks in my office with a cup of coffee. This morning, I practiced my gratitude, and you were one of my gratitudes. And you want to know what? It's like, exactly. Oh, it was like this was freaking planned. Hand to heaven, Scout's honor. This was not planned. I love you, man. I love you. See, y'all, here I am trying to tell you, my gratitude practice has changed things. Y'all, can I get a witness? Dang. So, Chris, one of the things that I wanted to do was every single day, I make a list of 5 things. And they could be massive things. I'm very thankful for my mother's health. My mom is a cancer survivor. That woman battled for 9 years. And every year that she goes into remission, I'm just thank you, God, for that. And it could be much smaller things. Last night, unfortunately, my daughter was not feeling well, so we took her to urgent care at 9 p.m. Not a thing that a parent wants to do, but we have antibiotics and baby girl is doing better this morning, and so I'm thankful. But I gave gratitude for urgent care and the doctors that saw us. I gave gratitude that I was able yesterday to travel to Arizona and I got home safely. What would you have tomorrow only if you express gratitude for it today? Ooh. What would you have today for what you expressed gratitude yesterday? If you did not express gratitude for anything yesterday, you would end up empty-handed. So I always think, what would I need tomorrow? Then that's when I'm going to say, I am thankful for that today. So I am thankful for coffee. I'm also thankful for water. I am one of those annoying girls that has 18 beverages around me all day. Gotta stay hydrated, gotta get the skin glowing. Friends, as a reminder, success requires consistency. Consistency requires discipline. Discipline requires doing the work, even when it is hard. That's it. I will never be the person who wants to rah inspire you. I have no aspirations. I have no aspirations to be motivational for you. I only have aspirations of talking an honest conversation about what it means to have a business and pursue your passion. You must be consistent. You must be disciplined. And you must show up. And any other story we tell ourselves, they have it easier, they have it more, they're cuter, they're richer, it's easier. That's a story. It is all hard. We do not know anybody else's story. And let me just tell you that you might have the very thing that that person wants. The person you're looking up to, the person in the Maserati, the Ferrari, the person who has a private jet, the person who has that zip code, the person who has all the thing that you wanted, they might want what you have. They might want to have a living mom. Maybe their mom passed. They might want to have peace in their home. Because let me tell you, $1 million or $1 billion will never buy you peace. They might want wealth. And you're like, Jasmine, they have wealth. Do you know the exact definition of wealth? In its original origin was wellness of mind. Wealth is defined as the wellness of mind. Somebody might have money, lots and lots of money, but let me tell you, money is not wealth. You might have the thing that somebody else wants. And I have to say, when we look out at others, I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to look at others. You don't have to keep momentum up alone. I believe that you could utilize systems and processes from people who have done what you want to do and have found success. Because we speak about money and we speak about wealth, but that is nothing without having peace of mind. What would it look like for me to show you how to sell 7 figures on Instagram? And the systems that you can replicate to hit your goals and take your momentum up a notch. This is a free class. You could register now at jasminestar.com/sales. Now, y'all, I do this on the weekly. I show up, I come on live, I answer real-time questions. Chris, in real time, is watching this live, asking what my goals were. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get into your Q&A, but I really wanted to let you know that we're gonna up-level what I'm teaching in that class. It's gonna be a full hour of the exact methodology, the exact practices, and then for people who show up live, you can come on camera with me. And you can get business coaching around your business and around getting sales on social media. So let's dive into the Q&A now and get this party started. All right, so Elaine Reyes, Jasmine, what is your favorite thing to do to decompress? Read. Y'all, a good book is so good for my soul. I don't have a television in my room. And this is new. Ever since I've been married with my husband, I've had a television in my room. I'm not too much of a television watcher. There's just not a lot of time in my day for that. But I have noticed that now that we don't have a television in our room at all, I just don't watch TV. And I find myself, whereas before I might kind of like surf late at night through random things, I'm now just reading. And I'm finishing books with a lot more frequency. Best way to decompress. Heather Alexander, do you use a set gratitude like journal or anything you recommend? No. I am sure there are amazing things out there, but every time I've gotten a journal, it just doesn't work the way that my brain works. And I always think to myself, so I have, now I know many people don't believe in God, and that's okay. God is like my homeboy. And so I have a 365-day devotional. It's like a book where I read it, I get my mind right, I pray, I meditate. And then in the margins of that book, I have kept track. So I have had this same 365-day devotional for the past 4 years. And I can go back on this very day, and I know where I was in 2021. I know where I was in 2022. And the crazy thing is, just today, look at this turning out to a different conversation. Just today, it's January 13th. And on January 13th, 2020, I wrote that what I wanted, beyond all else, even though we were planning for a social curator launch, we were going to be in a business promotion, the number one thing I wanted, and this is what I wrote down. I was like, God, I want a baby. I want a baby, and I've been waiting a long time. And I said, I'm tired of waiting. And I feel like I've been spinning in circles. How long do I need to wait? Your girl is real impatient, because what I didn't know on January 13th, 2020 was that less than 2 weeks later, our daughter would be born in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we would be getting a phone call. And with less than 24 hours notice, we would be on our way to meet her. Come on. Heck yes. There you go. This is why I believe in gratitude journals, making it your own. Do what you got to do. Okay. That story went off a little bit. My apologies. That wasn't business related. Joe Hernandez, how do I self-motivate? I always think of on the days that I find it difficult to show up or do what I need to do, I think of somebody else who needs to hear what I have to say. The minute I stop caring about how I feel, The minute I stop caring how I feel, and the minute I start focusing on the help that somebody else will receive on the back of something I know, it empowers me to show up in a different way. The minute we get out of our own way and understand that we know something, we have a skill set, we have something to offer, we have something to sell that will radically change somebody's life. And that by you not showing up, by you not being motivated to do the work, that you are robbing God or the universe of the blessing that you were put on this earth to do and give. And that's okay. That's okay. If you're just like, you know what, I'm cool. I'm in a funk. I don't want to get off the couch. I don't want to do what I want to do. I'm okay just going to my job right now. Cool. You just forfeit the right to complain about it. It is okay and totally your prerogative for you to decide that you don't want to do anything for your passion or your business or your goals. Cool. You can't complain about it though. You cannot complain about the results you don't have for the work you do not do. That's it. So all I need you to do is to make a decision. I won't do anything that will get me closer to my goals or my passion or a dream business, and I won't complain. Or I'm going to try to show up however best I can, however broken, perforated, backwards, tore up from the floor up. I will show up and I will try to do what I need to do to get my goals and hope that it impacts one person. I am going to tell you that if anybody who is watching this conversation right now and you think I just woke up this morning, I was like, oh, I'm so happy. I'm so excited. Let's go. I really want to get on for free and talk for 21 minutes on Facebook later to be on YouTube. Hey, make no mistake, friends. This is work and this is part of a strategy. And I do this with the hope and the belief that there is somebody who is watching this right now who needed to hear the thing I had to say. There are hundreds watching live, and there will be thousands who watch later. I am hoping that one person will watch this and decide to be the 43% who defies the odds. That's it. That is my goal. We started this conversation asking, how do we defy the 43%? And I gave 7 tips how. I talked about my personal journey. I talked about things that I do. And make no mistake, it is not easy and it is not for the faint of heart. But this is why I feel like really freaking passionate that I do these chats now so that somebody who's willing to kick it with me for 20 minutes would be interested in kicking it with me for an hour as we learn about actually how. Like, it's one thing to show up and give to your community. What does that actually look like to monetize and build a profitable business along the way? This free class at jasminestar.com/sales. Y'all, this is everything that I've learned selling multiple 7 figures on the back of social media, specifically on Instagram, but I was kicking it making 7 figures on Facebook in like that 2012 range too. This is my language. This is what I teach and this is what I want to share because I want people getting closer to their business goals, their financial goals. I would love to see you there. If you've registered, let me know in the comments. Like, I just want to shout you out. I just want to say, like, I see you, I hear you. I cannot wait. If y'all like when we have these conversations, just wait till you show up for these classes. We're trying something new. We're trying something new for this class. I'm a little scared. I'm a little bit nervous. But I believe that when we bring people on like you on the journey and just say, listen, we might break the internet. We might. We're going through practice runs. We're going to test it, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun along the way because when that class goes live, I'm not going to be doing it for 30,000 people. I'm going to be doing it for the one person who needs to show up, hear the thing I have to say, start taking action, get accountability, learn the ways, and then go on deploy in 2022. All right, I will see you like I do every week next week for more conversations on what it means to set goals, be productive, build a profitable business along the way. Friends, I hope you have a wonderful and beautiful, amazing day. Take care. Blessings, y'all.